My name is DJ K-1. DJ K-1. My name is DJ K-1. My name is DJ K-1.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 52 of the K-1 Agenda. I'm real happy to be back this week. Gonna keep this up. It's pretty tough. Actually, right now it's 7:01 a.m. Getting up to do this. But I did want to start off by saying I'm kind of taking a much needed downtime. Like I said, I'm all caught up on my music and all the business related to Puzzlebox Records, remixes, all the new music that's coming out. So I'm taking a break to get things together for the backyard, the deck, and to get ready for the summer fun, man. I'm actually redoing my deck and everything, so that's gonna be. It's been a great project that I've been doing, and it's keeping me busy. And it's good to keep yourself busy and keep doing work. But while doing this, it's just been a time to reflect, especially on the music with all the stuff I've done within the last 2 years, with separating myself from AUX88 in the past and everything, and I'm just working on what the name of the show is, called the K-1 Agenda. I wanted to speak on one issue today that I think is very important to me, that I've been getting a lot of emails from people, and I just think it's amazing that so many emails I get every day, and I mean this daily. I get an email from people who say they're fans of mine, who follow my music, and I really appreciate that, because they send some really nice messages and stuff. But please, don't send me a message, giving me all this praise about how much you follow me, and how much you respect me, and you want me, you really like my music and you support me. And then the next thing you say is, we're putting together a compilation, or we want to get you and a couple other artists that we like to put out some music for the scene. I don't do anything for free. I've been working too hard. Don't even approach me like that. Don't send any messages related to me just giving you a track for your label so you can put it out because it's great for the scene. Well, I've been in the scene in a long time, and I don't just give my music up for free. As well as working with different collaborators that I'm working with and stuff. I work with people who I like and who I know, admire, and it's about the business portion of it. I haven't been in this just to put out music just because it's great for the scene. Not gonna happen. So I hope people don't take that the wrong way, but I really work hard on my music and what we do for Detroit Techno. When I say working really hard, I don't just pick out a preset on a synthesizer to create music. I work really hard to edit, make up my drum sounds, make up my synth sounds, vocals, whatever. That's the way Detroit Techno always was and still should be. But I am not going to do that. So I thought that I needed to speak on that, because people, please stop sending me emails telling me, yeah, you like to put me on your label, on your new label, because it's great for the scene. No, that's not gonna happen. I already have Puzzlebox, which is doing really well. And on that note, I want to go to talking about Puzzlebox Records. Once again, people, we have great news and I have bad news. The great news is PBX32 Stargazing, featuring me and Dopplereffekt, was released April 9th, 2021, and completely sold out in like a 2-3 day period. And that was a limited edition of 500 quantity. The bad thing is I've been waiting to get it. It's being repressed, and Archer Records has been so busy that it's taken a little while for me to get the pressing. So everybody in the stores in Europe and different parts of the world, hold tight because I will be getting more in, and I will be sending them out to the distributors. And on that note, I want to also speak about what I have coming up, which is I'm really excited about this project. I really admire them from Trust Records. Microthol, I have a remix called Binary System. It's the Binary System track that Microthol did, and I did a great remix on it. I'm really looking forward to that coming out, and I believe that comes out in June. I also have a remix called Eicht by the Exaltics, which is coming out later this year. Now, on all this news that I have coming up, I want to, like I said, I want to reiterate before we go into Puzzlebox Records news. You can always send me any kind of messages to puzzlebox@puzzleboxrecords.com, or you can, message Infinite 12s, which is my production team, where we do a lot of remixes and stuff for it. But once again, people, I have Puzzlebox where I can put out my own music. Don't send messages asking me to just give you some music. It's not gonna happen. Thanks. Puzzlebox Records news. I just wanted to say, hey, you know that we did start the Puzzlebox Records distribution, and sadly it's been kind of held up because I'm waiting on all these repressings to come in from Archer, and it's a good thing to always have people seeking, all these distributors are seeking to get this new vinyl and some of the old repressings, but I haven't been able to get the stuff back in stock because Archer is really busy right now. Archer, if you don't know, is a record pressing plant in Detroit, and they're very busy with pressing, not just my record, but a whole lots of other artists all over the world. So, just trying to hold tight on that. It might be another week or two before I get all these repressings. But on that note, I also want to say I still have the new t-shirt designs coming, which is very soon. I'm going to have some more, but I did want to speak on the sale. I mentioned last week, we have a 35% off sale on all the merchandise, which coming this week will be April 28th and April 29th. So go to the page. You'll see it at the bottom of the links on any of the social media pages for merchandise. And go get this stuff. I'm telling you, man, it's cups, everything. You can get 35% off on everything. Cups, hoodies, baseball t-shirts, long sleeves t-shirts, pillows, whatever. And it's shipped from all over the world, so your shipping cost stays low. So it's shipped from all different types of places. So jump on that. I also want to always put you up on everything that's going on with Puzzlebox Records and my release news and as an artist. Robotics EP, once again, with Anthony Rother, DJ Digital, and myself. That finally releases on vinyl May 21st, 2021. I'm looking so forward to that because I've been hearing a lot of good news and reviews because they released it on MP3 already. I'm hearing a lot of good news on that, and I was really glad to do this release because it shows a different style of electro that I did for this. And on that note, I also want to say, get ready for the collaboration between me and Slam, the Slam DJs from Glasgow, Scotland. That was an honor that they asked me to be a part of this. It's a great mix, man. It's coming. You have some news coming really soon. Also, not to be forgotten, that was one of the first releases I did for the year, which is a collaboration with DJ Godfather, and that's called Electro, Ghetto. That was released January 25th, and that's still available on vinyl everywhere, and it's distributed by Clone. Also pick up my new Optic Nerve stuff. My new Optic Nerve Faraway EP that came out February 8th with the great artwork from Kevin Irvin. And it's called Faraway, and that's on Soma Records. Pick that up and you can get the motion comic that goes with it. It's a digital only release. Everybody's been hitting me up, asking me, man, this should be on vinyl. I have to check with Soma on that. And last but not least, I have to speak on my favorite track, my favorite release that I've done in a long time, and it's just such an honor. This is my Uncharted LP on Axis Records, the Escape Velocity series, which was released March 26, 2021. Full-length Optic Nerve album that tells a story, and it's gonna move me into some other areas that I want to get into. But I do want to say to everybody, pick this up. It's a digital only release for right now, and you can pick that up at Axis Records. Once again, that album is called Uncharted, and that's Optic Nerve. The next coming release, I will just put it out there, will be PBX 33, which will be Optic Nerve meets Strand. And this is Brian Bonds, Brian Boyers, and Ketch Harrington from Strand. And I'm looking forward to that release. Like I spoke to you earlier about the repressings. I'm sad to say that Modular World, I'm waiting on that, PBX 29. More pressings for that. I'm still waiting on Archer to press that, which we're out of stock on that, which is this particular release. This was my favorite Electro release that I've done in a while, because it's different, it's real, minimal. Any DJ can play it. It's very funky, but it's minimal. And it still has vocal chants to it, which I'm proud of, because it makes my music more recognizable. Also, PBX 30, Monochromatic Images, Alien FM. That's been sold out 4 times. Now I'm waiting on their new pressings to come in. As soon as we got them in, they were gone. And that's with me and Black Tony from Alien FM. Also, PBX 31, the first of the Mad Scientist releases, vocal modulations, completely out of stock. I'm waiting for Archer to repress those as well. So, once again, everybody, thank you for all your support. Episode 52, I'm going to be putting you up on everything. So, watch for the next section, which will be everybody, listen, 35% off at least 2 to 3 times a month on all this product. Like I said, t-shirts, mugs, coffee mugs, cups, pillows, tapestry, hoodies, baseball shirts, short sleeve shirts, phone cases. Man, you can get so much, and it has all the designs for all the logos that I've done over all these years, and I have more coming. And keep in mind, you can get this shipped pretty much from your own country, so you're going to save on shipping. Pick the stuff up now. Go get it. K-1 out. Question of the week. Question of the week is, will there be more output from Alien FM, the alias with you and Black Tony? Oh, of course, man. Alien FM is something that was created in on the original 430 West Records, when we were doing 430 West Records and Direct Beat. Of course, this is a labor of love. Alien FM is a little bit different than what I did with AUX88. It's a little bit more thought-provoking, more spacey, and sometimes we just do, just to do something different. But I'm very proud of this project, which is me and Black Tony, Alien FM. Get ready, people, because we are going to be repressing the original Alien FM double pack. So I will have more news on that pretty soon. But on that note, I want to say, if you have any questions, any more questions, please email puzzlebox@puzzleboxrecords.com for any questions you may have. And once again, I'm very excited about Alien FM. Look for new. We're actually working on some new Alien FM right now, and also getting the rest of those Alien FMs repressed. the original that came out on 430 West, which was a double pack album, and also Large Mechanics will be getting repressed as well. So thank you. Old pick and video. Well, this week I'm still doing this for a little while, showing you the portrait of electronic band, AUX88. This is from the actual created documentary that we made that was 10 hours long on Blu-ray, came in a special box that was made. This is like one of the hardest things I've ever done, but if I leave this world today, at least it tells the story and you get the real deal on how we came about, how we created this and how we got signed to a label and how we were able, from guys from the east side of Detroit, hoods, to travel the world to play live and have a name in this electronic music. But I want to show you on this video, this particular segment is called Artists Describe AUX88 Live. The one thing about everything that I've ever done, we started out years ago in the 80s, man, we were performing live. And we stuck to our guns on that. And when we got signed to the label, there was nobody doing live shows. I think the only group that had really did any live shows was probably Inner City at the time and Underground Resistance. And we stuck to it that we wanted to perform live and more people to see us, to know who we are. And I can honestly say we're one of the baddest bands ever. You don't want to go behind AUX88. So here's some artists' take on them describing the AUX88 live show, which I'm very proud to have to been a part of that. So check this out.
A legend in Detroit techno. This group has been around for a long, since day one.
Again, one of the deepest secrets is like being able to program and recapture somebody's hits down to like an accurate reproduction. Man, I think that like, I'll say they ain't Keith Tucker's probably the most dangerous thing in Detroit. a bit slept on, man, because that's a true skill. It takes somebody that's into that to actually emphasize that and talk about it. So that's where they get the respect from, is from somebody that's programming sounds, that knows the complexity of doing something like that.
Well, about the live shows from AUX88, I could say that they are very dynamic. They have a very direct contact with the people, with the crowd in their performances. Maybe because they have all those lyrics from AUX88 help a lot to take a contact and keep in the same vibe with the people. Meanwhile, they are performing live. And even there are not too many bands, I could say. Mainly in the last decades, we are usually seeing projects with only one person. I mean, standalone projects, not bands with 2 or 3 people interacting together.
Musicians in this group help define what
From experiencing a live AUX88 show, I think that the things that impress me are the musicianship of it, the ability for these individuals to work as a unit to produce a sound.
They let me go out on the road with them as the DJ, and I brought more like a Jazzy Jeff, Fresh Prince type feel to the group, cutting in live break beats and little small DJ sets in the middle of the show where I would get a solo, and then I would give them time to reload tracks and get the sequences ready. So it was a real fun time around in the 90s.
AUX88 as a live band had live musicianship and not just looping things,
they had like, you know, actual keyboard lines being played, and like the only other person you see do that anymore is like Mike Banks, you know, that would actually play like a sick bass line, and you see him doing it with his fingers on a keyboard, and it was actual like keyboard player stuff. And then what's so interesting about that is like it connects back to the longer history of music, where techno usually just like cuts itself off and says music doesn't exist before we exist. We're like, now it's this, now we're the future. But what you guys brought into it was a history of music, and like the live performances with crazy dancers, all that stuff. I mean, it was over the top. It was a lot of energy as a performance.
Yeah, the live shows are great because it's like a concert, so, and that's a great thing, especially for electronic artists. It's not only an open air laptop. Yeah, it's like a concert, and that's great.
I went to Tribal Gathering in the UK in 1997 to see Kraftwerk playing live. Just after I'd seen that, I ended up in the Detroit tent, and Optic 88 were on stage playing live. It was the first time I'd seen them live. And they had a totally different energy, much darker, rougher, much more aimed at the dance floor. It was great show. They had the whole place absolutely rocking.
I've only seen AUX live 3 times in my life. It's pretty slamming. It's pretty, it made me more curious how it was working than to actually see the guys up there getting off. I mean, they had shit clicking so tough. You had to go there.
Everybody put your hands up! Direct drive!
Tight, funky, and earth.
Between 93 and 97, I was going to a lot of warehouse parties here in Detroit, and you always knew if you heard Aux 88 playing, like when you went in or early on in the party, that it was going to be a good party.
I thought it was great because it was much how you are approached it the same way, because we all come from a band background. Most of us are musicians, not just programmers, you know, so to speak. And I loved it. It was the perform beat was great. The look of it, and it just reminded me of craft work.
To me, an Aux 88 live show was always, I mean, it was straight talent, because everyone in Aux 88, they're players, they can play. I can't play, yeah, so I just appreciate, I've always appreciated and respect anyone that does that live, you know. And especially when, I mean, to me it's cool because you're playing, but then, you know, you got some drum machines, there's sequencers, and you know, playing all the drum beats that I love, all the 808 driven shit, and then while you're playing, and then, you know, I mean, with all the vocoders and everything, I mean, it was great. It was like, it was to me, it was an updated version of a Kraftwerk show. I mean, no disrespect to Kraftwerk, they weren't really, their live shows don't really do too much. So, you know, and Aux 88 was actually playing, and, you know, and there's a couple dancers I saw before in different shows, and, you know, sometimes there's 2, sometimes there's 3 band members, and it was just really, I mean, it just kept you watching, you know. I mean, there's never a dull moment in an Aux 88 show. I mean, especially because there's no other act like it. There's no one else doing that. You know, and not with the live show. There's DJs, and there's a couple guys where they would do a solo live show. But to me, what makes it interesting is that it was a band. It was a band, you know, so everyone had to be in sync. And then was the one guy just, okay, I'm gonna play a couple little things and fuck with the sequencer and change the sequence. I mean, everyone it had to be rehearsed. It had to be, like, everyone had to be on point, because to get 3 guys to do that together, you know, I mean, you have to be in sync at all time. And a lot of these other live shows, that's what made it more interesting to me, because it's more of a band, as opposed to, like, you know, guys it'd just be one artist doing the show, you know.
Sus directos me encantan, los he visto 2 veces, una vez en el Sora y luego en el Festival de los Monegros. Y lo que puedo decir de esos directos, pues bueno, pues todo, ¿no? El sonido que tienen, el sonido perfecto, la pose que tienen y el show que montan, ¿no? Y sobre todo la voz de Kate cantando en directo, que tiene esa voz que, bueno, un puro espectáculo. Dentro de la música electrónica, que normalmente los espectáculos son fríos, pues ellos tienen un buen show. Viva Aux 88!
Speaking specifically about Aux 88, the reason that I could bet on that is because, again, you know, in a previous answer, I had talked about building relationships. Well, the why building a relationship is important is because you can then trust that specific person or group actually has integrity. And if they have integrity, they are going to bring the best that they can bring, because it's not just about getting a check. They understand it, like it's also their reputation on the line. And it's someone with integrity wants to give the best that they can. Not just so that they don't fuck the promoter, but they also care about their fans and giving a show for them. But they also care about themselves and how they're represented. And if you have integrity, you're less likely to come with some bullshit. Right. You know, let's just put it out there. So that's why that's a bet for me. I mean, that's why that is a bet I'm willing to take. It's because, you know, I know you cats, and I can be fairly certain that unless everybody's having a really, really, really bad day, that somebody in the mix is going to be like, nah, we can't do that. Right. You know, we have to get it together. You know, and that's really important.
Aux 88 was the epitome of a true band. They would perform live on stage with dancers. They had a face. Their sound was a culmination of pure Detroit electro and techno, and they put on a show every time they toured. They weren't just somebody behind a machine in a studio. They actually went out in front of people and put on great shows.
And getting to work with you and see how meticulous, you guys were always meticulous. No matter what resources you had to work with, whether it was a small amount of gear, and then as you guys got more gigs and had more resources, you were able to expand on your gear habit and get more things to manipulate and move in and out of your mix and your music. That didn't matter. Whatever your gig was, even when it was just the two of you with two keyboard stands, and that was it. You had all of your shit together and organized and ready. You also knew in your mind, even though I was mixing you, everything came to me, and I was mixing you, you had your sounds together in your mind. Like your instruments were adjusted properly, and then what I was getting from you was real close to what you wanted to hear, and it was just like minute tweaking, and then me putting a mix on it that was appropriate for the room.
Moving forward into the performance aspect of electronic music, there's a period of time where you had, you know, folks really just working off of laptops and things like that. And meanwhile, here you've got this group that's playing live, that's playing instruments, and again, just got a whole, you know, from the way that they would enter on the stage to the way they would, you know, go into one track to the next, to the way they leave the stage. It was all just really professionally done, and honestly, I can't think of many groups at all that did it like that, that do it like that. You know, I think in that way, actually, it's fairly unique in bringing that performance aspect to it. So, yeah, I would definitely credit actually Eicht for being at the forefront of a lot of that.
I was real honored to get to see y'all in Tokyo when y'all played, because the show was real tight, and you know, you was all dressed the same, and like you said, you playing songs, right? And it's a big difference. And you know, I think that's the main thing I really like: the professionalism, the execution, and the concepts. Right. You know, all those rolled in together. Right. That made you guys like the best electro group.
I saw Aux 88 in Denver, Colorado, with a couple of friends who had never actually been to an electro show, and we had an absolute blast. It was a special performance that they were there specifically to do. It was a set that was split between the Black Tokyo material and Ox 88 work. I really found their balance between the triggering of sounds and pre-recorded sequences and actual live keyboard playing to be extremely refreshing.
Really, like I said before, it's the sound of Ox 88 is really like pushing. Yeah. So when you hear it live, it's really like this is what you want to hear. Yeah. If you really love electro and energetic music, it's kind of explosive and it's like really touching me deep inside. Yeah. Because it's a very natural feeling that really makes you dancing. That it's not just what I see nowadays. People like on the dance floor with the mobile phone and the drink in the hand, and they just shake a little bit the body, but not really dancing. Yeah? And this is if you go to see Ox 88 live or listen to the records, this is like really push you to dance because you can't stop it. Immediately you put the needle on the record and you start to dance, and it's fantastic.
Man, the recent ones are, man, they're incredible. Nobody else is doing that, man. Like the one that, when you guys did that at the Red Bull stage at the 2011 movement, you guys went through every set was completely separate and completely complete. You know what I mean? You guys had your Ox 88, like classic stuff. You had the Mad Scientist stuff, which was like very new. And not, I mean, it wasn't Ox 88, but it was still like hard electro. And then just the different stage elements too, because by the time you got to Black Tokyo, I mean, you had the live singer, Ice Truck, you know, she was, I mean, you don't get that, you know what I mean? And anytime you get people with like a front man or a singer, it's like trying to shape the group around that person, trying to, you know, how is this going to be presentable? It's always about how it can be packaged and processed and put on a shelf so people can understand it and attach a little price label underneath it. And with that, it was all these different elements coming together. I mean, you guys had, you know, state-of-the-art visuals, but see the dancers, they still had different sets. Like they would come out and do different things, and they would it was like education, because some of the certain dance moves that they were doing, those are Detroit branded, you know what I mean? I mean, because they had their different like outfits, and then when they were actually when Tom actually had that LED mask, like, and Tom was out there too. You know, that's not even what he was doing, but he was he was out there working it, and that's like to me, like most people do not, they hide behind their machines, they look like they're checking their email, you know, you don't know what they're doing, but you guys are not only, and plus Tom, he's playing with like a kit, you know what I mean? Like he's not just, you know, pushing some sampler buttons or whatever, making it sound sick. Like you guys are musicians, and that's what comes across in the live shows is the musicianship.
How would we describe our dancing style? It's called funketeering, and it's a combination of footwork and upper body movements, where there's a pop, shaking of the legs, and certain shuffles. We are the best at it.
Yes, I hope everybody is really liking this and getting a chance to see, you know, what we did and hear other artists take on what we did and what we're capable of and what we're very well known for. So thank you all. And once again, if you have any more questions, always email me. And I have plenty of things to show you coming up in more episodes. Shout outs this week. I always wanted to try to get this particular person to just come down, get in the video, or dart in to say hello. And she's like, nope, she's not having it. This is a special shout out for my wife, Belinda Tucker, man. I've been knowing her since middle school, since we were in the 6th grade together. And, you know, very special. I just want to put up a quick picture of her. Love her to death. She's a sweetheart. Everybody who knows her loves her. And I just want to say thank you for being there for me and being like, you know, my rock. Appreciate you. Love you. And here's my wife, and I want to send shouts out to her. And also on that note, I just want to say I know what I've done, what I'm doing, and what I will be doing. Everybody, I got my Pfizer shot. I got both of them. I'm done. I'm vaccinated. My wife's vaccinated. My parents are vaccinated. A lot of the family members are vaccinated. Please don't sit around and wait. Get vaccinated. And not only that, I know it's a new mandate about not wearing your mask. I'm still going to be wearing my mask because I feel like I want to keep you protected. It's not a big deal. Please, everybody, please get vaccinated. And on that note, I want to say thank you all once again for all your support and everything that's been going on in my career. And it's starting to look like pretty soon I might have some announcements about if I'm going back out again to play live and do some DJ sets, because things are starting to open up. But I'm thinking maybe like fall or winter. But thank you, everybody, for supporting me. This is episode 52. See you in the next one. Hey, I just want to say, everyone, please hit that subscribe button for YouTube. And please subscribe to my page. I really have enjoyed all the support I've been getting. But hey, like this and subscribe to this page. Keep Tucker K-1.